Hi, this is Aaron, and this is the very first episode. I intended to be the first episode of this SEO debunking series that I want to start. Oftentimes, I find people coming to me in various forms talking about bad SEO, or they've had a bad experience, or they're having trouble with SEO, and I find all sorts of issues. And I recently moved to Austin the last 5 or 6 months and started to spend a little more time getting my own website off the ground and maybe have a little extra side work apart from my day job. And typed in South Austin SEO, went through the competitors here, and I came up on this link right here. Now, I also already recorded this episode, so I already know what's going on, but I wanted to redo it. And when I went here, I instantly found incredibly suspicious. As you can see here, it's just, if you're not aware of Trello, Trello is sort of like Google Keep or any note-taking app meets Pinterest. And as you can see here, there is just all sorts of spam with Austin SEO consulting agency, just all sorts of things here. So this Trello board is taking advantage of being a public Trello board and utilizing all these keywords. There's no real substance here. There's no quality content. So what we're here today is to investigate what's going on and report them. Now, I've actually already reported them because, like I said, I've already recorded this video, the second take. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I went about that process. And you can also see that I want to also let you know that I reported this page to Trello too, not just to Google, but to Trello. I'm not worried about Bing or anything like that, but I wanted to show you the depths people go to in order to avoid doing real quality work in order to hopefully rank higher. And so that's what this whole series is going to be about. Illusionists and magicians tend to like to debunk all sorts of different con men and con women out in the world, Houdini, Penn and Teller, just general journalism. And I love that sort of stuff. And having a background in SEO for over a decade has allowed me to kind of see what's going on so pretty easily. So what I'm going to be doing here is we're going to go through this company's website, and we're going to see what's going on. So as you can see here, they have lots of information. We're going to go to their website, and it's a very low quality designed WordPress website that you can see they're really overusing and abusing the Austin SEO and similar keywords here. It's even worse down in all the content here, but I'm not going to go through too much of this content here. It's actually pretty bad. There's all sorts of poor capitalization, grammar, punctuation, just really poor writing, which is really the foundation of great SEO, is high quality content. So that's the first thing with this website outside of their spam here, which is currently working, which is really on Google's logarithm not to recognize what's going on. What I really wanted to show you is a lot of the telltale signs of what poor SEO company does. And one of the first things I noticed is all these different links here at the bottom. Typically, these footer links, there's usually more than just payments and refunds and privacy policy. Usually they reiterate the home page, contact page, the About Us page, all that sort of things. I didn't even see an About Us page on this website. I just see a contact page. But one of the first things I had noticed was usually a website like this isn't going to have a payment and refund policy. That's going to be within the contract for an SEO service. If they were like a SEO tool or some other subscription company, yeah, that makes sense. That should be upfront. But it's kind of odd that this sort of information is sort of in the footer of the website. So I found that to be relatively odd. And then in the privacy policy, which is pretty reasonable. WordPress now ships with a privacy policy page to make most people's websites easy to disclose that sort of information. I found another website here outside of these other two that this person or this company run. So I'm going to let that launch. I'm not going to worry about it too much now. And there's really not anything else here in the privacy policy that I'm all that interested in. And the rest of the site's kind of the same. Really not much going on. Really poorly designed, not much here. It's not great graphic design either. Um, Lots of generic stock photography with SEO, just really, really kitsch. Information about WordPress design. I feel like they're using the Divi WordPress theme, but I'm not too sure. Google My Business, it's interesting that they separate that opposed to local SEO because that's essentially the same thing. So I found that to be odd. The SEO blog, again, not a lot of great content. They only have 2 blog posts here. And when I went to them, and you can see here it says admin, it doesn't actually have the person's name. So that's a telltale sign of, a rookie WordPress maintainer. September 1st, 2019 and July 30th, 2019. So they were, published within, a month of each other or so. This is January 30th, 2020. So nothing great here. A lot of really basic content, nothing outstanding, nothing unique or truly unique. One of the things I had also noticed is the hamburger bar, which is really more meant for mobile devices here on the desktop. If you click on it, you'll see the widget information. So you're supposed to add information here with the widgets in WordPress, and this person didn't get to that area or maybe forgot about it. And if you notice here, um, the menu navigation changes from page to page. It just kind of changes all the time. So it's kind of interesting. I can understand that if you're having a dynamic website, you have a lot of different sections and things like that. But this is clearly an issue here. So next, I wanted to also point out on the contact page, you'll see here, again, there's the new Austin SEO company. I don't know what makes it new. Is just the inconsistency here. So first off, the address here, the suite 1540 is displayed here, but in the footer it's 1450. And there's also a discrepancy in how Austin, Texas is displayed. It's missing a space and a comma. It's choosing the difference between suite spelled out and the abbreviation. So there's a lot of different consistency issues here. And additionally, if you're running local SEO, you should know that consistency is one of the most important aspects, because if your website or if your name, address, phone number, and other details are different from one place to another, it's going to confuse not just people like myself who is trying to figure out what this business does, but also what is Google, going to see. And talking about Google, instead of a Google embedded map, I see Bing. And I first thought to myself, that's pretty cute. Usually you'll use Google Maps if you were, so I find that to be interesting. And I see that they have their website here. I wonder if they're able to get their Bing listing for their business and not a Google address. So that's one of the things I'm going to check out now. Let's take a look here. We're just going to type in Aswan SEO Austin. So there's the, oh, is that the same one? Ah, that's a different one. Okay. So this is the different one. All right, all right, all right. Okay. I'm not going to be so worried about that one because that's a different, you can see this is made by a different a different user. Here's another one. So that's going to be interesting. And there's another one. So that's what they're doing. They're just doing a lot of different Trello. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go to maps here. Yeah. So I think that's the primary issue, is that this person was not able to get a Google business listing with their name, but was able to do so with Bing. So that's them just trying to cover their tracks there. So that is interesting. Yeah, so there's really not much else to say about this website. We're gonna go further down the hole. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this other website that I had found that they manage called Austin SEO Company. And as you can see, same design, same type of, yeah, it's primarily the same design, a lot of the same cookie cutter kitsch, stock photography and graphics. And then they also have a funny video here, which I'll show you. I'm not going to show it to you. It's pretty. Um, it's just like every other video out there. But what's interesting to me is these testimonials here. So you can see here we have two photogenic women. Their full names aren't provided. It's fair that if there's some people out there want to keep their businesses, they might have NDA disclosures or want to keep some of what they do secret or just not transparent to the public. That's fine. I've signed several NDAs working with clients. No big deal. But what's interesting is that these supposed clients are photogenic women with very short testimonials. You can even see here, there's a little bit of white here behind her hair and even on here. So that makes me wonder if that image has been doctored. And then next we have two other businesses here, Austin Stained Concrete and Violet Crown Austin. So let's take a look at Violet Crown Austin. And before we go any further, you can see that things like Google isn't capitalized. We have some punctuation errors. I would expect that most business people, would have very formal written language. Not always, but generally that's what I would expect. So let's take a look at Violet Crown Austin. And just let you know, I do normally use Chrome, but for this situation, I wanted to use Firefox because I didn't want any of my own personal logged in stuff. So first thing, when I type in Violet Crown Austin, I get the Violet Crown Cinema, but we'll get into that in just a second. So it was Violet Crown Austin. See, it doesn't even say what it does, but I found somewhere else. This is how I did it, yeah. So going under Austin Stained, if you click on here, you'll see that there's no actual there's no actual address, but there is a business listing. And that's fine, that can happen in businesses because sometimes you can have a business, but maybe you operate outside of your home or something like that, and you want that listed, fair enough. I don't remember how I got to Austin Crown. I guess I'll find it later. I'll get to that later, but let's focus on Austin Concrete, Stained Concrete, that is. So they are first. Fantastic. So let's take a look here. And I think, oh, this is why I was going through some of these other businesses. So this is the correct company because the logo matches what we have here. So that's good. That's definitely not their site, although it's still pretty sad. I've noticed that the concrete companies here in Austin, their websites are not that great. This isn't all that great either. They're all pretty sad. Oh, this is how I found it. So it is decorative concrete flooring. It was this one. So so he has two businesses in the same industry. And what's odd about that is, in my experience, a SEO company, unless you are specifically focused on one industry, you are an expert in that field, you usually will not have two clients in the same industry, so not to have any conflicts of interest. That's one of the things I think is really interesting about that. So let's stick with Stained Concrete here. Looks very similar. It's a simpler design than these Austin SEO, the Aswan and Austin SEO company. Still just the same level of design and everything like that. And not really much going on here, It's like you have your basic everything. He's got some WordPress errors. Looks like Supercache plugin errors. Very simple contact form. There is nothing really about this company. Oh, there's some about us. But the contact page is really poor. They're using images instead of text, which is, if you really were a decent SEO company, you would know that text is more important than the images. Now, Google can read images, the text in images. I've done that test. I believe if you type in worst SEO company or expert, St. Pete, and the reason why is if you go to images, there it is. My website comes up. I did this. This is me. I'm not going to go into it, but you can read this article about why I did this. Nowhere on the site you'll see worst SEO expert at all, and that's just because this image is the only thing that's there. So Google can read images, but as you can see, it didn't appear in the web search. It appeared in the image search. So I'm not going to go too far into that. So having these images here really isn't providing this company the best opportunity to rank higher. There's no real other contact information here. We don't know where they're existing or anything like that, so something's off there. But they do have some pretty high Google reviews, so you know. I'm going to move on to this one. I find this one to be interesting. It's a little better, the design, but still kitschy, and got the same type of forms going on. So yeah, a lot of the same stuff. SEO from Aswan, all that good stuff. So and you can see here, the address is the same. Where is it? Very same address. Oh, that one's incorrect again. Yeah, so so that's interesting that they're in the same suite, same building. So I find that interesting. Maybe they're roommates or maybe they're suite mates in an office building, or I'm not too sure. So that's what's going on here. Let's take a look at the About page. Okay, so more higher end. I don't want to say higher end, but they've got a slider, different phone number. That is a different phone number than here. 7 employees and staff since 2004. Oh, and we got the owner. I'm not going to look too far into that. Some crappy, graphic design here. Services. I'm not going to go too far into that. Concrete blog. Let's take a look at the blog. Okay, so there's only one blog post. Let's see if it says admin also. Yep, it doesn't have anything. So yeah, so that's this website. See if I can go back to the contact page. Let me see what they got here. Is their contact page not working? No, it's not. That's odd. Let's go back to the home page. All right, again, the navigation goes back and forth, just like on the other site. They don't have a contact page, that's why. Okay. So let's go to, let's check it out here. Violet Crown. And that's interesting too. Violet Crown concrete. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Concrete. There we go. So I do wonder if because this concrete business has claimed this address, that might be the reason why Aswan wasn't able to claim their address, and that's why he had to use Bing. So oftentimes, unless although if it's a different business, it should, because you can have two businesses in the same building and suite number, especially if he's been changing up the suite number each time. So I don't know. So you got that, Let me take a look at the images. Not bad. All right, it's a video. Okay, I'm not going to go any further into that. So you've taken a look and we've realized that these might be two very accurate companies. I don't know how great they really are. I'm still suspicious about these two. So let's go back to the privacy policy. Yeah, it's the same stuff really. Okay. So we took a look into that, and the other two pages, I'm not going to go too far into this, but clearly this is his personal page. He's dabbles in a lot of different things. I'm not going to focus on that. Same with his own Aswan creations. We all are interested in many different things. So I'm not here to personally attack anybody. I'm here to show suspicious actions to increase someone's rankings, and that's what I'm doing here. So what we found is suspicious activity here. I'm going to go into their social media and see how they're doing with that. All right, so this is their Facebook. Now this is just the one that's on Aswan. Let's go back and do see if it's different for the other one. Where is my history? Don't tell me I have to go to Austin SEO again. There we go. And are these the same? Aswan SEO, Aswan SEO, YouTube, Pinterest. Okay. All right. So it looks like every other junk SEO company using stock photography. It's all generally the same. So they're, it's just kind of it's 3-level offer. Yeah, it's there's nothing unique here. Same with the tweets. It's all kind of the same. They haven't tweeted since November. When was the last time they did? Facebook. January 15th, so about 2 weeks ago. YouTube, just a few videos, all done within the last, just 2 videos. Instagram, all right, that's what he looks. Yeah, same person here, a lot of the same stuff. All right. Pinterest, so we're starting to see some more of his personal stuff, so I'm going to jump out of that. Again, I'm not here to personally attack people, and this looks to be, yeah, a lot of the same things. So he's got so there's Aswan Creations LLC. So let's take a look if these pages actually have, if Aswan and if the creations and the LLC, where did we find it? Was it here? Yeah, Aswan Creations LLC. So I'm going to see if that's actually a legitimate Texas business or a business somewhere. So just doing a Texas business license search, let's see if we can find this. I'm still kind of new to the state of Texas, so a lot of this is new. So I'm not always sure which site to go to, but this looks like a pretty decent one to start off with. So we're looking for Aswan Creations. Just type in Aswan. I am not a robot. Oh, these are good. Traffic lights. This is less expensive than doing this at the bar where they charge you $1. Let's go to search. Here we go. Aswan Holdings, Aswan International, Aswan Trading. Okay. Can I open this up? Can I separate? No. Okay. Franchise tax ended. So this is voluntarily ended. That's interesting. That was old. Okay, so that's probably not it. Yeah, so it's not an actual LLC as far as I'm able to recognize, and nothing here is in Austin, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so let's see if we can let's do another search. Let's just do create. Let's try their name. There's James Martinez. I don't think I'll be able to find it by that way. Let's just do Martinez. It's not gonna get it. You know what? Forget it. So I couldn't find a real business LLC for Texas that could be under something else. Is the SEM part of Aswan Creations. So it's interesting. I don't know. I'm very confused by this situation, but clearly there is lots of issues with this person's choice of using Trello and some of their marketing. Their websites are low quality. I recommend having a higher quality website when it comes to focus on SEO. So if you ever run into a company, check out their website. Make sure that they're operating, even, a website doesn't always mean that a company's operating properly, but if they don't have their website shit together, don't expect them to have anything else together. Again, I'm not trying to personally attack anyone, but there is a sort of a web here. We briefly saw some of their other things they're interested in. So they've got a lot of things in the pot, but they all seem very commingled. So I guess that's my first episode. One of the things I already did, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, is let me show you Google spam report spam. And I also want to bring up the Google Webmaster Guidelines. So this is the Google Webmaster Guidelines. These are the guidelines Google has created and updated over the years to sort of help webmasters know what it is that Google expects. When you are trying to manipulate a website or websites in order to rank high on the search engines, that's actually a violation of their terms. And their Webmaster Guidelines discuss that sort of what these terms are, what they're looking for. When I went here, one of the things I like when I report somebody, either in Google listings or Google spam report, I like to find the exact language from their policies that say, hey, this is incorrect. And for me, it was the user-generated content, which is user-generated spam. So I had submitted my report to Google, which is actually pretty simple. When you type in Google report spam, you'll get to this. You actually have to use your own Google account. And what I had done is I added in the actual page. And I did find other pages from this person, but being that this is the one that pops up, I am going to report this one, or I have reported this one. So essentially what you would do is you would file the report, and it has all sorts of information, but it is web spam, so you can use that, it's fine. Actually, that's not going to work because I don't have that thing anymore. Let me go here. So I had to jump into my own personal Google account in order to show you the example that I'm trying to express here. So, and just let you know, if you ever need to if you're on Windows 10, you can put two different windows together without using your mouse or keyboard, or really just without your mouse. If you hit the Windows key and then right, and when you lift up, usually you'll be able to see the other page and you can link it like this, but it didn't do that for some reason. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm going to take the offending page that has the spam on it that's misbehaving, which is this one, and I'm also going to give them the actual search results. And this helps them out. This may even become an example in their search quality raters testing that they use to test their algorithm. We're giving them the page and the result so they can see what's going on. And then I describe, you only have 300 characters to describe what's going on, but what I had done is I explained this page is violating your Webmaster Guidelines, it's user-generated spam, and you click your I'm not a robot, and you report it. And then at one time, you're going to end up getting something like this saying that, hey, it's been submitted. And one of the things I found is it usually takes about, they listed somewhere, where is it? Here, how long does it take to reconsider? That's a reconsideration review. But I don't remember where it was, but it takes a couple weeks, a couple days to a couple weeks for them to take action. So I've submitted many Google spam reports before. I've never tracked them this way. That's what I'm going to be doing in this series, is tracking them and seeing what's going on and how Google chooses to, take action, go from there and show you what's going on. I also contacted Trello and told them what's going on, and I expect them to do more investigation in that, because if their platform can be abused like this, that's not good for their application, especially they're now part of Atlassian, which is a very large company. So it's important that they take action on this sort of thing. So there you go. That's how I've gone through the process of investigating this and debunking it. As soon as I know more about what goes on, I'm going to follow up in another video. One other thing I wanted to show you is, so we had all these different websites. Let me go back to bring them up real quick. I'm gonna pause the video. One of the other things I wanted to do too is do what's called a reverse domain lookup. And you just type in reverse domain lookup and we'll get a few different options. One of the ones I like the most is from YouGetSignal. And so what we're going to do is we're going to test the domains that we found from these many different websites that's being run. Let's go back to, what was it, Austin Concrete. Yeah, that's one of them. And then go find it again. I have to find it again. It was Austin Stained Concrete. So we're going to test each one of these domains and see if they're actually on the same server or IP address. Lots of domains can be hosted on the same shared hosting server or service. And so that's one of the things you can do to kind of save some money. I know that an A2 hosting account, I can host pretty much an unlimited amount of add-on domains on that account, but they all are in the same account using the same resources. So I want to just look into that too. So what you do is you add in the domain here and you check, and what it does, it says service unavailable. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at Violet Crown. So I was able to find Dig. Set service unavailable. Let's try this one, because Dig was working, dig.com. See, I found 3 different domains. That makes sense. Let me do my own just to make sure that this is working. Service unavailable. Interesting. I wonder if it doesn't work for everybody. Yeah, so maybe that's not the right one. Let's try a different one. Let's try DNS. Here we go. Austin SEO company. Okay, all right, so this is working. Austin. So it's found. It's only, okay, so it's there. Let's go for Aswan. Aswan. So Aswan's not there. Violet. Nope. So far, let's try as we already tried that one. Let's try James Martinez. And what I'm trying to do is see if it's usually a pretty clear indication that a site is using the same service in order to keep costs down. As one, so isn't there Austin? Our softeners Austin. So all right. So let's try as one service. So far, I'm seeing that the only thing right that I've seen from this this web of lies, I guess, is that they are using different servers. Let's do Aswan's. Nope. Aswan 212. So we're only seeing that. Let's try again. Austin isn't there. Martinez. Nope. So what I'm finding here is that they are smartly using different services or hosting to maintain these domains, which can get expensive. Not expensive, but if he really is making money off the Austin Concrete or these businesses, it makes sense. But for his own personal sites, it would make sense to have them all there. So there's another site called Who is Hosting This? And this is a pretty cool site. So I'm going to break this out into its own separate tab over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here, and we're going to go back and grab each of these domains, and you're going to find out where the domain is being hosted for the best of the knowledge. And so this is using Cloudflare. That's why we weren't able to check the reverse domain lookup, because Cloudflare can obfuscate that. So that's what's going on. And I bet it's the same. So they most likely are the same host, just they're using Cloudflare. And so this kind of gives us a false positive, well, or positive false. So yeah, another Cloudflare site. And it's really no big deal, because it's the same thing here. If I do my own website, which makes sense, I'm using Cloudflare too. And Cloudflare has been criticized for being a company that helps suspicious entities obfuscate where they're existing, but they are also a legitimate business that does some excellent things. They have great DNS servers and all that sort of stuff. Couldn't really find anything here, and that's not a real big deal. So, but I wanted to rule that out So there you go. That's how I've gone through the process of investigating this and debunking it. And as soon as I know more about what goes on, I'm going to follow up in another video and we'll go from there. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any comments. Let me know if there's anything you want me to look into